This is Triggered.
And you will be.
Mercury is retrograding.
To the
And
nth degree.
And we are feeling it and experiencing it in every single aspect of our lives.
But also, regardless of what's going on in the sky, Canada, get your fucking shit together.
So here we go. I woke up this morning with a rage that I am not familiar with. I am relatively a calm person. I do not yell. I do not scream. I do not throw things. I could have literally chucked every piece of glassware that I own at the wall this morning. And let me tell you why. There's a few things. And guys, this is a bit of an event. So if you're not into it, fast forward. Firstly, yesterday, I tried to make a video on TikTok. I tried 42 times to make this video. Let me tell you what it was about. A Hamilton, Ontario judge has said that the laws that require sex offenders to register on our national sex offender registry is unconstitutional.
Unconstitutional.
A little bit of background here. Essentially, a sex offender who was convicted of 14 sexual assaults. Okay. Like, this is not someone who one time did something they should not have done. 14 sexual assaults was fighting this in court, determined that he was going to fight this in court, got a lawyer. Okay. And he won. The judge sided with him, said that by asking sex offenders in Ontario, and guys, mark my words, this will be the rest of Canada very soon if something isn't done, that by asking sex offenders to register, which means this is not public knowledge in Canada. It's just for the RCMP. So the RCMP gets a list of their address, their current names, what they go by, where they work, where they frequent, if they're going to a gym, if they're going to wherever. It is a list. So that, and the whole purpose of this is if all of a sudden a child goes missing, or if all of a sudden a child comes home and says, oh my God, on my way home from school, some guy pulled me into a bush and sexually assaulted me, the RCMP have a really great place to start. That is the whole purpose of this. Guys, it was deemed to violate sex offenders' Charter of Rights. And the only person's Charter of Rights that we should be concerned about in a situation like this is the victims. What about not even their Charter of Rights? What about their human rights?
The problem here is this is a serial sex offender. And
Yes.
History shows us these people will continue to reoffend because it's a serial sex offender. And a lot of sex offenders, if not caught, continue to get more aggressive in their attacks, more violence.
Yes.
And the fact of the matter here is if you continuously give rights to people who are constantly abusing, hurting, killing, raping, the list goes on, you're teaching them, just like you would a toddler, it's okay.
Yeah.
You are allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is fucking
really
insane to me. And so where does that leave parents? Where does that leave victims?
Yeah.
Where does this leave community and safety?
Yeah, exactly.
Something is going on because this isn't the only fucking story.
So this is where the rage really bubbled up for me this morning, because I woke up this morning to a story and I need to share it with you all. Oshawa, Ontario, I'm about to ruin your whole fucking day, because Darren Scott Ray, who is currently 65 years old, the parole board let him have a 72-hour pass unsupervised. He does not have to report to anybody. No one is following him. For 72 hours, guys, he's in your community. And you might say, why is that a problem, Chantal? Let me tell you why that's a problem. Because 39 years ago, he brutally raped and murdered a 14-year-old boy named Darren Pepin in Scarborough. He is in prison for first-degree murder. It was premeditated. He planned it. He knew he was going to kill. And again, a 14-year-old boy, guys, he sodomized him. This is an extremely hateful, aggressive crime that he committed. He is on a 72-hour free-for-all in your community right now.
The problem here, because we saw this with Douglas Worth,
Yes.
is people can come at us and say, but he served his time. He didn't do anything wrong in prison because there were no children in prison to sodomize. There were no children in prison to victimize. This motherfucker has fucking 70. Do you know what I could do in 72 hours?
I know.
Give me a fucking break.
I am so angry. And guys, I honestly don't think we're angry enough. Because how are we letting this happen? So the Durham police, the reason we know about this is the Durham police took it upon themselves, and like, hats off to you guys, to release a statement to the public saying there's a high risk, dangerous offender walking around your community for the next 72 hours before he goes back to prison. And they won't tell us, because I was like, why would he be released? Did someone die? Is he going to a funeral? They won't tell us why.
I have a theory, and I think usually when this happens, it's because he made some kind of deal. He ratted on another inmate, he had information, he gave something up. So he had made a sweetheart deal like Miss Homoka, because we've seen this happen in Canada fucking way too many times. I'll give you this if you give me that. There's no deals when you're a fucking child predator.
No. I feel sick. I was telling Ashley, like, in the shower this morning, I was shaking because how am I supposed to go to work today and talk about the structure of a logo when guys, this is happening right under our noses every single day. And half the time we don't even hear about it. We don't even know about it. And then so the reason that you didn't see my video yesterday is because if I want to go on TikTok and put a video of me dancing literally with my vagina lips hanging out of my pants, that's fine. But the minute that I want to come on that platform and talk to you guys and warn people about what is going on in their community as a fellow Canadian, that gets banned, that gets blocked. You're not seeing the video. So if you're seeing this video, good for you. We somehow made it through the algorithm.
It's hard. We want to warn you guys about so many things, but we are blocked. Constantly fucking blocked.
It's crazy. So we are torqued this morning.
I know
this isn't happy-go-lucky Ash and Chantal, but guys, like, between the ruling at the Hamilton court and then knowing that this guy is out for 72 hours. Guys, he's walking around your community. You're going to people in Oshawa are going to brush shoulders with this man over the next 72 hours, not knowing he sodomized, raped, and brutally murdered a 14-year-old Canadian boy.
This past 7 days, we have let out 3 known human traffickers in the GTA out on bail when they were known to be trafficking girls as young as 12. They're out on bail right now. So we have what is happening.
And here's the thing, that when I was sitting with myself this morning and trying to rein in my rage, what do we do? Can anybody call me and tell me what are we supposed to do here? What is the solution? Because calling my member of parliament, sure, what are they gonna do? Like, is there something we're not doing that we should be doing? I don't know. I really don't know. But
I feel though we are missing the mark on so many things here, because something has to be going on that we don't know about. Because why? I know people who are getting charged with speeding and losing their license and just stupid fucking crimes. There are people still in jail from having weed on them before it became legal. But we got this motherfucker cruising around town after sodomizing a child. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, no, I will not be paying my parking ticket, because if a murderer can have a walkabout in Oshawa for 72 hours, I'm not paying my parking ticket. I'm
Right?
sorry.
That's where I'm at too. Like,
Ugh.
do I even have to pay my taxes anymore? Don't think so. Because why does it fucking matter? Jesus.
Honestly,
fuck.
guys, we're
So
just...
now that the rage is kind of out there, now you guys can rage with us. Let's everyone just rage abound. We should probably get into our story.
Yes.
Because this one just fucking pisses me off.
Good. So we're just going with the theme.
We're just going to
today.
continue with the piss off.
I'm down.
And there are going to be multiple moments in this story where you're going to want to stop me, but don't. And the reason I say don't is because every single detail I'm going to say matters.
This might be difficult for me.
I know. Well, you can.
Okay.
You
All
can
right.
stop
All
me.
right.
But just know if I say something and you're like, that's fucked up, there's a reason.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. So this story starts with a little girl who just wanted her mom to pick her up. And it ends in a place called Hungryland. Your face.
I already have so many questions, but I'm trying to like rein in my commentary.
Okay. And that's not the most disturbing part of the story, because
all right,
I don't want to go anywhere that's called Hungryland.
That's not for us. It's not. Although being on the shot for a couple weeks, I feel like I visit Hungryland for a couple days.
I would be fine in Hungryland because I'm not even hungry. This would be my time to shine. All right. So let me tell you about Tricia Todd. Tricia grew up in Hobe Sound, Florida. And if you've never heard of Hobe Sound, it's kind of this quiet, small-knit coastal towns in Florida where everyone knows everyone. It's only about 1,300 people. So it's small, quaint, close to the beach. Like my dream. My dream.
I was going to say, my absolute dream.
This is the kind of place where a missing persons case is, quote, unheard of. But I feel like we need to stop the narrative of nothing happens in the small, quiet towns, because everything's happening in the small, quiet towns.
I know. And you know what? We say this so often in so many of our cases, but it's very much like the knock on wood thing. Like, just let's not put that into the universe, because 9 times out of the 10, the universe is going to be like, hold my beer.
I feel like it's when nurses and doctors say, like, don't say it's a quiet night.
Oh,
because
I know.
then shit hits the fan.
I know.
Okay. So
I want to talk about this on a whole nother episode, but I was in the ER once and they had like a moon schedule for the whole year. And I was like, what's that for? And she's like, full moons. We need to know. I was like, oh my God.
Which makes sense after this fucking week. Anyways, so that was the quote that I said unheard of in a small town. It actually was a direct quote from the Martin County Sheriff's Chief Deputy. He said when all this went down, he was like, this doesn't happen in places like this. That a disappearance like this was something that set the whole community on edge, because things like this don't happen here.
Yeah.
And Tricia was one of their own, one of their homegrown small town girls. She actually grew up in Hobe Sound with 7 brothers. So they made up a good portion. Their family made up a good portion of the population.
They were a whole baseball team.
Right? 7 brothers, and her mom, Rebecca, told ABC's 2020 that Tricia never let being the only girl slow her down even for a second. And I love this part of what she said. They're jumping on the trampoline. She's jumping on the trampoline. She kept up with every single one of them. She was tough and adventurous. So if those boys were fucking around, Tricia was like, hold my sippy cup. I'm coming too.
Watch this.
Watch this. From a young age, Tricia knew exactly what she wanted to do. She wanted to be a nurse.
All right.
That was her dream. So she joined the Air Force, which I'm like,
damn, girl.
Tricia.
She's really doing it.
Yeah, she served her country. She got her nursing degree. And she actually went on to become a hospice nurse, which
Ugh.
hospice nurses have a
Angels.
special place in my heart.
Angels.
Like, you spend your days caring for people in the hardest part of their entire life. And she took medical trips to Haiti on mission trips. So she went to Haiti. She was out there actively making the world a better place. Like, she was out there living
This
life,
girl's
making a
amazing.
difference. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing Tricia was the most proud of, the thing that her friend Myrnie Ellis said was the most important thing in her entire life, was her daughter Faith,
Ugh, of
2
course.
years old. And the moment Tricia found out she was having a little girl, she already knew her name. She was like, this is my girl. Her name will be Faith. I am ready for this. Like, she wanted this more than anything.
Yeah.
So that's our girl, Tricia. She's a nurse, an Air Force vet, a mission worker, mom, living back in her hometown with her little girl, Faith, trying to build something new after a really tough few years. Now, to understand what happened to Tricia Todd, you have to understand the man she's spent the last decade of her life trying to get away from.
You know what? There's always a fucking man.
It's always a fucking man.
Like,
Ah,
guys, I love men.
yeah, we do love
Uh,
men.
we do love men, and we know a few fantastic men. I'm
A1.
looking at you. I'm looking at you, Matthew. But like, why is it all? But like, everything you just described, like she had it all figured out. She was doing
Yeah.
fine, and then a man.
A
God
fucking
damn it.
man.
Yeah.
This man's name was Stephen Williams. Stephen, we hate you. Everyone from Triggered hates you. They don't even know
Yeah.
why they
What?
hate you.
Why we hate you, but we hate you.
We hate you.
All
Trisha
right.
and Stephen met very young. They went to the same school in Hobe Sound. It was a Christian academy, and Stephen was, by all accounts, charismatic, funny, big personality, the kind of guy who just pulls you in fast. The kind of guy you're like, I want to hang out with you. You're a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, they both enrolled in the Air Force. They got married. So this was like, let's do this dream together.
Let's do it.
You know, they had a small private ceremony in North Carolina, and for a while on paper, they looked like one of those success stories. Small town couple, they leave, they go, they join the Air Force, they're starting to make big strides in life, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Faith was born, and it was almost like the minute that baby came into the world, his mask came off. Ugh,
God.
I know. Friends started noticing the marriage unraveling almost immediately after Faith's birth. There was ongoing infidelity on Stephen's part right away. This beautiful woman gave you a child and you're going to go and stick your dick in someone else? Get the fuck out of here.
I am always so disgusted by that. When I hear like, a wife has just given birth or she's pregnant and you're out fucking around.
Bye.
Gross. Ick.
Yeah. But really, infidelity was the least of the problems, because what
Mm,
Tricia was writing in her private journals told a very different story of what everyone on the outside could see. She
mhm.
wrote that Stephen punched her in the stomach while she was pregnant, hoping she would miscarry.
We hate Steven.
This part, she wrote that he enjoyed killing her puppies. Like, pardon the fuck out of me. And you know how I feel about
I'm
puppies.
speechless. I'm
It's
speechless.
fucking horrible.
You're punching pregnant women in the stomach and killing puppies. Like,
Right?
okay.
Now, page after page after page of control, violence, and emotional manipulation. And she wrote something that I keep going back to. She wrote, I'm afraid of what he might do. Sometimes I think he could actually kill me. And I'm like, there it is. If you have to, now usually Chantel does the PSA, but I'm going to throw something out there. If
Get
at
it,
any
girl.
point you feel like you have to write those words or you think those thoughts, it's
Get
time to
away.
go. Like, the minute you think someone can actually kill you in any fucking situation, get the fuck out, let alone your partner.
Yeah. No, you gotta go. You gotta make a plan. You gotta run.
Fucking crazy. So
Mhm.
she knew. She knew, and she wasn't the only one because Tricia also wrote that Stephen's own mother had pulled her aside and told her she was worried her son might be capable of doing something violent. His own mother was trying to warn her. Like,
And there's no, like, I'm assuming shit is not good with Trish, but, um, so there's no blame on her. But, like, guys, he's not getting better.
no,
He's not gonna change. If his mom is telling you she's scared for you, you gotta go. You gotta go.
right? So he at one point was arrested for domestic violence against Tricia.
Okay.
Never convicted for it, but it was on record. But like, I don't understand the never convicted because, okay, devil's advocate, I do understand that some cases there are crazy fucking people that will say, oh, he hit me or she hit me or whatever. And then it's,
Mhm.
just lies, whatever. But I feel like in this case, it was pretty obvious what was happening, you know?
I know, but I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of abused people actually retract their statements. And then once
100%.
those are retracted, they don't have
There's
anything,
nothing.
you know?
Despite all of this, despite the journals, the arrests, the history, he still had visitation rights. So I believe at this point, the police had seen the journals. They knew about his violent tendencies. She left him. They were aware of the abuse during the pregnancy, and he was still allowed visitation rights with Faith, which
Oh, God. Okay.
the couple separated in 2015. Tricia packed up Faith and moved back to Hopestown. Back home, back to her brothers, which you have 7 brothers. Like this is probably a really smart move on anyone's behalf.
Mhm.
Back to the town that raised her. Their divorce was finalized in February 2016. Tricia was rebuilding, living with her brother 2 miles from the beach, taking, late night walks along the shore with Faith. And by every
Aw,
account, she was really finding her footing again.
good.
Yeah. Now, Stephen stayed in North Carolina. He paid child support. He visited Faith regularly. And it was one of those visits that Tricia
Mm.
Todd vanishes.
Hmm.
April 26, 2016, the last time Tricia Todd was captured on camera. She was at a Publix grocery store. And I want you to hold onto that image for a second because
Mhm.
investigators would later say those surveillance frames were the last images of her actually alive.
At the grocery store, okay.
Yeah. She's smiling. She drops off some medication at Stephen's Airbnb for Faith that evening. He was staying just a few blocks away from her house. And then she goes home.
Mhm.
Groceries on the counter, lights on, everything exactly how it should be. And then she disappears. The
Mhm.
next morning, April 27th, Tricia didn't show up to pick Faith up from the babysitter. So, from what I gather, he was supposed to drop her off at the babysitter and then she would pick Faith up after.
Okay,
So,
got
he
it.
did drop her off at the babysitter. Tricia
Pick her
didn't
back
show up
up.
to pick up Faith.
Yeah.
She didn't show
Okay.
up to work at the hospice center. And that was highly unusual. She's not letting her patients down. This is not
No.
something that is heard of. Her phone
No.
went straight to voicemail, and her brother John made a call that would set everything in motion. He said, I've been trying to reach my sister all day. She didn't pick up her daughter from the babysitter, and that's not like her. And really, like, this part gave me goosebumps because her family knew. They knew
Yeah.
immediately because
Yeah.
Trish didn't miss her daughter. Like,
Yeah.
there, despite everything, if she was to miss anything, it wasn't going to be to pick up her baby.
No, no. The
Something
world could
bad
be burning.
happened.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's going to make it to her daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deputies went straight to her home, and the house actually looked fine. Groceries were still on the counter, the lights were still on, like she had stepped out for a second, maybe to grab another bag, something she forgot outside.
That's so eerie.
But her wallet and phone were gone.
Okay.
Across the street, her car was like directly across the street, so right on the curb. Her purse was on the seat, and keys were still in the ignition. So you're not leaving your
Hmm.
keys. So maybe she was running in, dropping off the groceries, running out. Was she getting ready to go pick up her
Right.
daughter? There's so many. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So she didn't leave and take her car somewhere. Her purse was
No.
still in her car. Her keys were still in the car. Wherever she went that night, she didn't go willingly, and she didn't plan on going long. So investigators start working through everyone connected to Tricia. And very quickly, one name keeps coming up. And I guess
You
that
don't
you could guess who
say.
that is. Yeah. Fucking Stephen Williams.
Mhm.
He had been in town that night and was the last person to physically see her alive.
Okay.
So obviously they bring him in. And here's the thing about this fucking Stephen. He is so calm, cool, collected.
Oh, yeah.
Actually seemed quite helpful even.
Oh,
Ah,
perfect. Thanks,
right?
Stephen.
He told detectives that Faith had been fussy that night, so he texted Tricia asking her to come over and help settle her down. He said she came, got the baby calm, and left around midnight. Then he revised that to 2 a.m. So he's like, actually, I don't think it was midnight. Maybe it was around 2. He said he figured he'd hear from her the next day. And when he didn't, he just dropped Faith off at the babysitter and drove back to North Carolina. He left without knowing where she was, without checking on her. He just got in his car and drove home.
Which I know that we hate Stephen. I hate Stephen. Okay.
Yeah.
At the same time, I would do the same thing.
Yeah. You know what?
They're
I don't
not together.
have. No. So
I don't know.
that's a perfectly sound. I dropped the baby
Yeah.
off. That was the
Yep.
plan. I dropped her off. But the fact that his timing changed, and
Yes.
the minute stories start changing, I'm like, nah.
Well, and we also have to remember, like I'm saying, if I was in that situation, I would do the same thing. But we have to remember that she's also writing in her journal that he wants to kill her. So
Right.
there's that.
Okay. This is the part that made my skin crawl, because he suggested that maybe Tricia liked to take late night beach walks without her phone, without pepper spray, and maybe something happened to her out there. First and foremost, how do you know what Tricia's doing? Because you don't even live there. And you made a note to say, without her phone, without pepper spray. Why would you need fucking pepper spray in a fucking this small one-horse town on the beach? Hello?
Also, and we know this from psychology, when someone is getting like hyper specific about things, it's usually because they're hiding something. So
100%.
if I get a text from one of my team members and they say, "Hey, I've been sick all night, not going to make it in today." I'm like, "Oh my God, I hope you feel better." If I get a text from one of my team members that's like, "Hey, oh my God, I have a fever of 104. My stomach hurts so much. I've been throwing up for a couple of hours. I can't stand up. Like, I don't know what's going on. I just don't think I'm going to be able to do my job." Like, I'm immediately like, "Sweetheart, listen, whatever you got going on today, have a good time."
Yeah.
because and this is psychology. When we over explain ourselves and go into too many details, that usually indicates that we're trying to hide something. So the pepper spray
100%.
thing is weird to me because that is not a normal thing you'd say.
Yeah, because he was already building a narrative. He's trying to plant seeds that
Yeah.
she was reckless. She wandered off. Anything could have happened. Like, fuck off. And investigators weren't buying it either, because obviously. But they followed every lead. They looked at a local performer named Brent Vernon that Tricia had been close with. They literally went to this guy's shows and watched his shows. They spoke to a pastor named Wesley Holden, who had recently prayed with her on the beach, which I thought was adorable.
Yeah.
He was cleared when footage showed he'd been out watching a nesting sea turtle that night, which is
That would be me. That would 100%
don't worry, I
be
have footage of
my
what I was
alibi.
doing, right?
They'd be like, "We saw that crazy lady with the
It's such a
turtles."
Florida
So,
thing. No.
yeah,
I
seriously.
was watching sea turtles. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
But every road obviously kept coming back to Stephen.
Yeah.
And then the journals came out. And I love when we get the journals, because there's been many cases
Me
where journals
too.
come out, letters.
Yeah.
Detectives read what Tricia had written, the punches, the puppies, the control, the fear, and the line that she wrote sometimes, "I fear that he could actually kill me." And they knew in their gut. They knew, but now knowing something and proving something are two totally different things.
Yep.
What they needed was evidence, and they were about to get it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes my tummy tickle. I love
You
when you're
kill
like,
me.
what do you
That
got? Like,
makes
I love a good, you know?
that makes my tummy tickle.
Yeah. So investigators pulled surveillance footage from along Federal Highway near Tricia's home. The footage
Okay.
showed her car leaving the area around 1 a.m. Not 2, but 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like Stephen had said, right? So he had said 2,
Mm-hmm.
but no, she left at 1. And remember, they're only a couple blocks from each other.
Right.
And then there was a second clip, 3 seconds long, just 3 seconds. A man walking from the direction of Tricia's house back towards Stephen's Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, this is the time Stephen said he was at home with a fussy baby.
That's right.
3 seconds of footage, and that was enough.
Of course.
Now, a neighbor came forward and said they had seen Stephen driving Tricia's car.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Another camera had caught him buying gas at around 1 a.m. He told investigators Tricia had run out of fuel and asked him for help. Her car was found with a
Okay.
drained tank, and they filed that away. So,
Okay. I am just, and I don't know, but this strikes me as odd because she lived with her brother. And like I have a great relationship with my ex-husband.
mhm.
If I had a choice between calling my brother or him to come bring me gas, I'm calling my bro.
Well, yeah. Especially,
Weird. Okay.
she's not calling a man who she's fucking terrified of for help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm. Okay.
remember, they're just a couple blocks away from each other. So
You're sus, Steven.
you're fucking sus. So Stephen was brought right back in for questioning. And this is where his story starts falling apart. And I love when this happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because under pressure, this motherfucker just couldn't keep his story straight.
Okay.
First, Tricia left his Airbnb alive. That was the story.
Okay.
Then, when detectives laid out what they had, it changed. He said he found her already dead at her house. Like, how
Oh.
quickly the story turned. Like, that one took a fucking full 360.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just dead on the floor. And he panicked and moved the body, but couldn't remember where he put it.
Ash, I
Sir,
hope you're
you didn't-
joking.
Like, you didn't lose a set of keys. It's a body.
Oh, okay. That right there, if I was a detective, I'd be like, well, Stephen, you're under arrest because never before in my entire career have I heard, well, I moved it. I moved her body, but like,
Where
I don't
did
know
I
where I put it. I can't remember.
that?
I should have put a string around my finger. I don't know. Like, what the fuck?
It's crazy.
Get
But
outta
then,
here,
of course,
Stephen.
it changes again. He says he
course.
pushed her during an argument about money
Oh,
because he knows this body's going to be found and he's going to have to come up with an excuse, right?
yeah. All right. So now we're pushing her.
Yeah. So then he was like, I pushed her. She fell backwards
She
and
fell.
hit her head. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And he
Terrible.
panicked.
Yeah.
So he put her in her car, drove her somewhere, left her on the side of the road with a granola bar and a bottle of water and drove away. I know, a granola bar?
Ashley, I'm not in the mood for this today.
Like she wasn't going on a fucking hike, Stephen.
Also, I know you're bleeding excessively from your head and that you're injured and probably on the way to death, but here's a granola bar and a little bit of water.
Good luck to you.
I hope you get better. What?
It's
Oh my God, what a psycho.
this
I
is
hate
just
him.
I
Okay.
told you. I fucking
I
told you.
know.
So they charged him with child neglect for leaving a 2-year-old alone in an Airbnb because let's not forget, Faith was still back at the other place when he was fucking booking around town. Now, they did this just to keep him in custody because they needed to keep digging because they still didn't have a body, right? And then Stephen said that Tricia had passed away in the car and he couldn't remember where he had left her.
Oh, just slipped
Again,
my
with
mind.
the I don't know.
All right.
So at least he admitted that she had passed away, so that was finally enough to charge him with at least second-degree murder.
Good.
Still, you know how I feel about second-degree murder. But unfortunately, they still needed to find this body.
Well, yeah.
Because
poor girl.
this poor girl is out there somewhere. We can't take Steven's fucking word for it. Like, it's horrible. And I'm going to tell you something, and I feel like because today is a day, just take a breath.
All right.
You're going to be
Okay,
mad.
lay it on me.
And as we were talking this morning, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this story. Investigators made a deal. These
Actually.
fucking deals. If Stephen led them to Tricia's remains, the death penalty would come off the table and they would recommend a 35-year sentence.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 35 years for a life. That's fine.
Uh-huh. Before agreeing to anything, the state attorney consulted Tricia's family. And her family, despite everything, despite all of the grief and the rage and the devastation, said that finding Tricia was the priority and bringing her home what mattered the most. And I agree.
Okay, yeah. And I get
Because
that.
really, like, not knowing, not having those answers would be, it would eat you up
I
alive.
can't imagine. I think about this all the time.
But deals piss me off in cases like this because he doesn't deserve
Yeah.
anything. So the deal was made. And Stephen Williams all of a sudden is like, wait a minute. I remember. Because this fucking guy obviously suddenly has an epiphany or his whole memory comes back. Like, I'm so mad.
I am also mad. I'm actually furious.
So he tells detectives that he had been thinking about killing Tricia for a while.
Yeah, I bet.
He had contemplated it through the entire day, kind of went back and forth in his mind. Should I kill her? Shouldn't I kill her? And on April 26th, he lost his nerve the first time. So she came to the Airbnb to drop off the baby. He was going to do it. And then he lost his nerve. So after she left, his nerve came back. Because he's a fucking piece of shit.
Of course. Because he didn't see her then. And he was like, I can do this.
I can do it.
Perfect.
So he texted her again, told her Faith wasn't feeling well, asked her to come back.
Oh, I hate this guy. Okay.
And being a good mom, she was like, yeah, I'll get medicine. I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
When she knocked at the door, Stephen strangled her until she passed out. Then he zip-tied her hands and feet.
Okay.
His plan, and I need you to really sit with how calculated this was, because it's not just a quick decision. His plan was to wait for her to wake up so he could get her email, password, and credit card information, because he wanted to make it look like she had spontaneously taken off on a mission trip to Haiti. He was going to erase her slowly from a distance, and everyone would wonder what happened to her while she was in Haiti.
Wow.
But his plan didn't go as planned because she regained consciousness and she started screaming.
Yep.
So Stephen grabbed a club and hit her over the head, then strangled her again until, in his own words, her heart stopped beating.
Cool.
Which
Thanks,
breaks
Stephen.
my fucking heart, because her 2-year-old little girl was asleep in the next room.
I was just going to say, with Faith in the same house. That's great.
This was not a crime of passion. This was not something that happened in a moment of rage. The argument about money, the push, she hit her head, all of that was a lie, obviously. He was planning to kill her deliberately in advance. He literally went to see his daughter with the plan to kill her.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, this is going to be a trigger warning, because not only did he plan this in his head in advance, but he had purchased saws, a chainsaw, and acid prior to her showing up. So I need you to understand the timeline here. Surveillance cameras at Home Depot in North Carolina, where he lived, so before he even arrived, caught Stephen buying the acid months before he killed her. Months.
Okay. So this is first degree, and I wish he got the death penalty. This is insane.
He was standing in a hardware store, loading acid into a cart while Tricia was still alive, raising their child, while Faith was still a baby, while he was still showing up to visit his daughter regularly, playing the role of a concerned co-parent. He was buying a fucking kill kit.
Yeah, that's awful.
Now, earlier in the day that he actually did commit the murder of Tricia, he had driven out to a remote wildlife preserve and dug a pit.
Like he fully, all right.
He dug her grave that day. After she was dead, Stephen put Tricia's body in her car and he drove to a gas station. That's what the 1 a.m. footage was. So in
Okay.
the footage that they seen him in her car at the gas station, she was in that car dead. Then
God.
he drove out to Hungryland Wildlife and Environmental Area, a massive remote preserve, the kind of place where you literally can disappear forever. It's huge. It's absolutely
Mhm,
massive.
mhm.
This is a wildlife preservation area.
Yeah.
When he arrived, he dismembered her with a chainsaw. He removed her teeth. He removed her fingertips so she could not be identified. And he placed what remained of this poor, sweet, beautiful woman into a plastic tub filled with acid he had purchased months in advance.
Oh, that's so disgusting and so heartbreaking.
It's horrible because this sweet little girl will, because of obviously the news, and she will know what happened to her mom, and
Yeah, yeah.
I hate that for her. I hate that for her so much.
I can't understand. I can understand hate and I can understand anger towards, when a relationship falls apart, especially when you have a child together. I get that. I cannot imagine dismembering the body that carried your child.
I know.
I cannot imagine going through being such a cold-hearted monster to be able to watch the body of the woman who carried your child and brought your child into this world
Mhm.
dissolve in acid. I can't.
It's
I will never understand that.
it's fucking wild. So after he does the most horrific of horrific things you can do to a person, he drove back, packed up his daughter, dropped Faith off at the babysitter, and drove back to North Carolina like nothing had happened.
Wow. Okay.
When investigators asked him why he did it, Stephen listed his motives out loud: child support,
Okay.
custody, angry from the divorce, revenge, financial gain. Captain John Cummings actually said pretty much every theory we had is something that probably bounced through his head. Like, he did it for this, he did it for that.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just said it. Like, they were like,
Yeah.
maybe it was for financial gain. He's like, oh, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it
And
was that.
like, he ultimately, like, he listed every single thing you could ever imagine in a
Yeah.
divorce or a separation or a
Yeah.
custody
Yeah.
battle. So Stephen led them right to where her body was. He was in an orange jumpsuit and shackles. He walked investigators deep into Hungryland, calmly placing markers in the dirt at a gravesite like he was giving directions to a fucking restaurant. Like, he's like, oh, and then we take a left here, take a right here.
Mm.
Like, it's fucking disgusting. And
So
it
bad.
makes my blood boil.
Yeah.
They did find the tub, the acid, and partial remains. They
Okay.
found her teeth and they found the chainsaw. Sheriff William Snyder, a man who had spent decades in law enforcement, said, in all of my years, we have
Mhm.
never had to deploy a hazmat team to recover human remains. He said
Oh,
it
this
was
is so sad, Ash.
yeah, he said it was one of the most gruesome crime scenes he's ever seen in his entire
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
Um, The state attorney later said, I just made a deal with the devil. And yeah, you did.
Yeah. Let's not
You
make
literally did.
deals until we know everything.
Okay, so here, before I wrap this up,
Mhm.
I just want to say, I think deals should be able to be reneged if you've determined that the person lied.
Yes. Yes. This bullshit of like, well, I gave him my word. Yeah. Well, he, uh, as a human being, agreed not to dismember his ex-wife. Like,
It's
what?
just a given, right?
Stupid.
But that was the only way to bring Tricia home, unfortunately, was making
Yeah.
that deal.
Yeah. All right.
So obviously, Stephen pleaded no contest to second-degree murder and child neglect. On October 7th, 2016, he was sentenced to 35 years in prison. Now, Judge Lawrence Meerman said the sentence was clearly less than full justice, and I'm so glad the judge acknowledged
Good.
that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
also, they needed a path to the truth and they needed to give the family closure. Trisha's father forgave him. Let that
What a
sit with you
man.
for a minute. That's
Yeah. What a man.
a real man. That is a strong man, because
Wow.
carrying hate in your heart is not going to do anything but destroy your own self.
No.
And this man stood up there and gave his forgiveness. And I'm so sorry that he was ever put in a position to have to forgive such a fucking horrific situation.
Yeah.
And little Faith, now older, was adopted by Tricia's brother, Jonathan, and his family. They are incredible. They make sure she knows exactly who her mother was, what she stood for, how fiercely and completely loved she was, you know. So Tricia spent her career holding the hands of strangers in their final moments. She flew to Haiti to help people she'd never met. She named her daughter before she was even born, and she wrote in her journal that she was afraid for what he might do. She knew, she wrote it down, and the system failed her. Stephen Williams is sitting in Jefferson Correctional Institution in Florida right now, and his projected release date is 2049.
That's too soon, but okay.
Like, fuck you. The part that fucking drives me is not all of her remains were found there, and he will still, to this day, not say where the rest of her is.
Oh, you know what? Ooh, I hope you rot.
Like, you got a fucking deal of a century, and you can't even give the family that. You are that much of a piece of shit. Like, we
Not
already
even
knew you
the
were a piece of
family.
shit.
Like, your daughter.
Your daughter,
You
your
can't give her that?
baby.
That's gross. That's gross. I hate it.
We hate Stephen, just like I said. So that was my tale of just shit that pisses me off.
I may actually title this episode We Hate Stephen, because I think that sums it all up.
Yeah. Stephen, we hate
Oh,
you.
man. Well, for Faith and her family, you guys sound like you got things under control despite the grief and the heartache that you've experienced by losing your gal, because she sounded incredible. Truly incredible. Yeah. I hope that you guys found healing and peace over the years, and that you continue to find that, and that you see, Trish in the eyes of Faith every single day.
Right?
Right? What a blessing.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley, thank you for just, feeding the flames of my anger and rage.
You're so welcome.
Because
I'm here to help.
I know. And you know what, guys, before we wrap up, we have a lot of fun on this podcast, and we love you guys so flippin' much.
So much.
Sometimes it's sad, and sometimes it's overwhelming, and sometimes we're angry and it's not so much fun. But we love bringing you, whether it's rage or hilarity or, stories that you've never heard of, victims that you've never heard of. We love bringing these to you every single week. We thank you for listening, and we'll see you all on Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on Triggered, where we dive deep into the dark, the twisted, and the cosmic mysteries of the universe.
Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, always watch the stars and your back.